Now, I want to talk about this because this is one of them situations where I thought that Stefon Diggs, who is currently on criminal trial, this is a civil. A lot of people think this is civil. This is criminal trial. This dude's facing prison time for this alleged strangulation of this woman, right? And I'm going to tell y'all something, man. When you get good lawyers, they can make a person look crazy on the stand who hasn't been under stringent questioning. If the person's nervous to speak in front of people, all this other stuff, man, you can get done bad. You can make it look horrible. And people call you liar, capper, everything. And I'm going to tell y'all something. His lawyer made this woman look bad, even though she revealed that they started out with a sexual relationship, friendship, sexual relationship, blah, 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 and then she became being his overnight chef, sleeping in the house with him, and basically dependent upon him because she said she really didn't have any money anywhere to go outside of that, right? And so it looked like the way his lawyer was going, that he was going to get, it seemed like he might get exonerated in this case. Because this lawyer was hammering this girl home, and his lawyer was asking questions that, she really was, pinpointing. And then they pulled up some videos afterwards when she was in the car, this, that, and the third. She went home, struck home hardly on the bruises. The lady said, well, listen, my face got red when the man slapped me and hit me. But then, they showed some videos from days afterwards when she was with some other girls, and she seemed to be doing fine, which, it doesn't automatically mean it didn't happen, but it did look bad on her in court. It looked real bad, and his lawyers did a good job, in my opinion, placing doubt. But I'm going to tell y'all something. When the prosecution came back and asked this girl these questions, and you could see the pain in her face and the things she was saying up there on that stage, on that stand. First of all, if she made all this stuff up, she a cold act to make all the descriptions of what she said happen. But you could see the anger that she had at this dude on the stand and the things she was saying, that she wanted to get a point across. She even said, hey, this dude like to put his hands on people and get away with it. Now, she said that because, of course, Stefon Diggs has multiple allegations from other people of physical, incidences. You know what I'm saying? This is all documented, right? So I want y'all to hear what she said, because at first I'm like, yo, Stefon, you going to beat this. Because it's not going to be beyond a reasonable doubt. But then when they came back and the prosecutors questioned her, and the anger that she had, the judge had to say, hey, strike what she said right there. Some of the things she was saying, you could tell that's like the only type of anger, because you would think, oh, well, she was mad because they're having sex. Now, because she was still working with the guy. So if that was the case, she'd have probably just left him alone altogether. But the anger that she had, you feel like something happened with this cat, because the things she was saying. I want y'all to listen to this, and I think this is going to have a bearing on the jury. The jury's going to have to believe, or have to deliberate and think, do I believe what his defense attorneys put out here, their explanation to say this didn't happen, and how they question her, or am I going to put out this part? And this is going to make it tough, man. At first I thought, hey, he's going to get exonerated. I don't think that, because right now people ain't going to believe her. Boy, but when they flipped the script and they went back to her, listen to some of the things she said, bro. Some of the trigger words she said, that showed like real anger. You know what I'm saying? Listen to this.
And where were you on December 2nd?
I was in the house, 7 schoolmasters.
Gotcha. And that day, what were you doing that day?
I woke up in the morning, prepared breakfast. Mr. Diggs came downstairs. He asked me what was I doing for the week. And I asked him, oh, so you weren't going to tell me that I wasn't able to come to Art Basel? And he explained why, and it was because of the situation with me and the other coworker, Lindsay Bolin. And I was upset with him, not upset at the fact I couldn't go to Art Basel. Me and him have a relationship for over 4.5 years. He could have told me weeks ahead of time, because me and his girlfriend, Cardi B, we were talking about having like outfits and stuff. It was like a whole thing being planned, and he just waited till the last day. So I was more upset with him not letting me know I wasn't going to come like at an earlier time.
And at some point during this day, were you alone in your bedroom?
Yes.
And do you know around when this was?
It was in the, like around 3 afternoon, 3-ish up.
When you're in your bedroom by yourself, what, if anything, were you doing?
I was sitting on the bed, laying across the bed, at my laptop, reading a cookbook, actually.
And were you communicating with any people at this point?
I received a text from Anna, was one of his friends.
Did you receive any text or send any text to Mr. Diggs?
No, the morning text. That was in the morning. We had went back and forth.
So you did some previous texts in the morning?
Yes.
So you're in the bedroom. What happens next?
I was in the bedroom. Mr. Diggs came into my room. I was laying across the bed. He came into my room.
And when you were in the bedroom, was the door closed?
Yes, the door was closed.
So when he came in, did he open the door?
Yes, he opened the door.
Did he leave it open after him?
No, he closed the door behind him.
And you said you were on the bed?
Yes, I was laying across the bed.
About how far away were you from the door?
About 4 or 5 feet, something like that.
So he comes in, closes the door behind him. What happens next?
He asked me to come here. He walked across the room and like leaned back on the dresser.
Okay, and just to give a kind of a sense, where's the dresser in the room in relation to like the door and?
Across the room, alongside the bathroom door.
Okay, so about how far away from the front door is the dresser?
Or 8 feet. I don't know them. A nice amount of feet.
Okay, so some amount of distance from it. You said he leans against the dresser?
Yes.
Are you still on the bed at this point?
I'm still on bed at this point.
What happens?
He comes in and he looks very angry. He was upset from the text exchange we were having. And in that text exchange, he was calling me bitches, and he was just very upset.
But what happened in that room?
He came in and he with intent to hurt me.
No. Not his intent or anything. What actually happened?
He was leaning against the dresser. He asked me to get up to come here. I got up off the bed and I came across to him and I stood in front of him. Like I stood on the side of him because he was leaning back. I stood on the side of him and he was like, what was all that shit you was talking?
And then what happened?
And I was beginning to say, you said, and I couldn't finish my statement, and he smacked me.
So when you say he smacked you...
He smacked me with an open hand.
Do you know which hand he used?
Right hand, right side of my face.
Do you know which part of your face got hit?
The right side of my face.
And I know you're putting your hand against your cheek. Was it your cheek that got struck?
It was my cheek that got hit.
About how far away from you were you from him when that happened?
I was at the end of the dresser.
And where was he?
He was on the, like in front of me on the other side of the dresser.
So about how much space was in between you?
Maybe 3 feet, 4 feet.
So you said that he smacked you. I want to use the word. Did you say smack or slap? I don't know what the word was.
Smack.
So he smacked you,
yeah.
And then what happened?
I went to try to like block him, like push him like this, like stop.
So again, I see you're pushing your hands out.
I pushed up. He's way taller than me. I pushed up for him.
How tall are you?
4'11", 5 feet.
And how tall is he? Do you know?
6 feet, 6'1".
So you said you pushed out and you made a motion with your hands. So does that mean you pushed with your hands?
Yes.
Around what, like his stomach, his chest, his shoulders?
Up to block his hands.
Okay. And then what happened?
And then he...
See, when she did that, I'm trying to tell y'all, man, how these jurors gonna get down and start crying.
Can I have a second? Can I have a second?
Yes, you can.
They're gonna be like, hey, she recalling whatever happened. That's what they're gonna think. I'm telling you. And at first, when that happened like that, you can see the anger come out of her face. I'm telling y'all this. So they gonna use that. Watch. I'm telling y'all this.
Right.
I thought his lawyers had it till I saw this.
When I went up to push his hand, like block him, block him, he took his arm and he like came around my neck with the crook of his elbow around my neck, and he began to choke me, pressure on my neck with his elbow.
So you said you pushed against him, and then he put his arm around your neck?
Yes.
Do you know, were you facing away from him?
I was facing him.
You were facing him, he put his arm around your neck?
Yes, he like spun me around.
He spun you around?
Felt like I will have to show you more so than I can describe it.
Describe it as best you can.
The fact she said, I can show you, or you want me to describe it? I'm trying to tell y'all, man. That jury gonna be sitting there looking at that like, hold on, man. You know? I'm trying to tell you, I thought his lawyers had this until she went up and did this part right here. Now listen very closely, y'all, at the things she put in there too. She put some personal shit in there too.
And in front of him, when he slapped me, I went to like try to hit him back like this. And then it was like he tackled me, like got me to try to keep from pushing him or protecting myself. And he put his arm around my neck like this, and he was choking me.
So you ended up in a position where his forearm or bicep was around your neck.
Yes.
And you said he choked you. What exactly? Did he put pressure on your neck?
Yes, he put pressure on me.
And were you able to breathe?
At first, and it kept getting tighter and tighter.
So were you able to breathe?
No.
About how long were you in this position?
I would say roughly I can't recall the amount of time. I just know it went from the edge where we were in front of the dresser to the side of the bed to him falling on top of me on the bed.
So about how far of a distance is that?
About maybe 4 or 5 feet, something like that, 5, 6 feet.
At some point, did he let you go?
Yeah, he let me go. When we got to the side of the bed, I was pushing back. I started to do a move that I saw off of social media. He said to me, that shit is not going to work.
So you said you saw him, you tried to do
It was a defensive move where you try to put your hands underneath the person that's trying to choke you. It's like something I saw on a woman defensive page or something. And he said that shit you see on Instagram is not going to work. And that's when he got tighter. Like the more I was trying to put his hand, he got tighter.
And then what happened?
And then I was pushing back. And then he like fell down on top of me on the bed because I was on the side of the bed. And it was like, he was like letting me, like, I guess he was about to let me go. But as he was getting up, he like pulled my hair. And he was like, yeah, I thought so.
And then what happened?
He got up off of me, off the bed behind me, and he walked around the bed. I told him I still haven't got paid. He said lies. And he was like, so what are you doing? So what are you doing for the week? And I was like, I'm staying here. He said, I don't want anyone in my house. I don't want anyone here. I was like, okay, so who's going to get my ticket? He said, who always gets your ticket? And that's it. He walked out of the room.
So from the moment he entered the room to the moment he left, about how much time went by?
My last text to Anna was probably like 3:30 something. I text Sunny at 4:11, so it was between that time because I didn't have plans. I didn't have money to go anywhere to travel. I know.
I know, but just the question was about how long time.
It was just in between that time. I can't say exact, but I know it's before 4/11.
So, is that 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 5 minutes?
He was in the room probably maybe 10 minutes, 15. I'm not sure.
When he left the room, what happened next?
I looked down at my pants. I had peed my pants, and I had just came off my cycle, and I was bleeding really bad again. I guess because I was so scared, I changed my pants, and I cleaned up myself, and I came back in the room. And that's when I texted Sonny to get my flight.
And where was that flight to?
Atlanta.
At some point, did you exit your... when you said you went to your bathroom, is that the bathroom that's connected to the bedroom, right?
Yes.
At some point, did you leave out your bedroom again?
I didn't leave out my bedroom till later in the afternoon.
But so at some point later on, you did. Do you know about how long you stayed there?
In my bedroom? A while, because I was trying to figure out what I was going to do.
So at some point, though, that later on that day, you exited out of the bedroom?
Yes.
And what did you do next?
When I exited out of the bedroom? Yeah. While I was in my bedroom, I was packing my clothes to leave. I called another coworker of color, and I just asked her, like, what she was doing. And she was like, I told her I wasn't able to go to Art Basel, and that I was going home, and she was like, oh, you should come here. And I was like, you know what, I'll come there.
When she said here, what does that mean?
New York City. So I then proceeded to change my flight to go to New York.
Okay. And when was that flight going to be?
I just know I landed at 10:49. It was a later flight in the afternoon.
It's that day?
It's that day, yes.
Did you see Mr. Diggs anytime after that happened that day?
Yes.
And what was that like?
He was getting a massage, and I was leaving out. By the time I saw him, I was handing over birthday gifts that I had got.
So when you said you were handing out birthday gifts, who were you handing out birthday gifts?
To him.
This is a gift that you had already purchased, or?
Yes, I normally give him a birthday gift every year.
When's his birthday?
November 28th.
Okay, so this was a little bit afterwards?
Yeah.
So at some point, did you leave this house?
Yes.
How did you leave to get to the airport?
A car, an Uber.
Right, and so an Uber came and picked you up and brought you to the airport?
Yes.
You went to New York. Was it New York City or New York State?
New York City.
Also New York State, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And who did you meet up in New York City?
I met up with Shy Charles. And she picked me up from the airport. And we went to pick up her friend, Natalia. And then we went to her ex-husband's house to pick up something or to do something she had to do. We were there. We ordered wings and watched a movie, watched some videos.
And did you tell anyone here about what had happened to you?
No, I didn't tell anyone there because they have their own interpersonal sexual relationship. So I would have never told her anything like that.
How long did you stay in New York?
I stayed in New York.
Now, people, she said they got their own sexual relationship. Man, she trying to say this dude was goddamn poking everything allegedly, man. God, dog.
Tuesday to Tuesday, so 7 days a week.
And did you come back to Massachusetts?
Yes.
And did you come back to working for Mr. Diggs?
Yes.
At some point, and I know this was a little bit before, maybe a little bit afterwards, but at some point were you talking to Mr. Diggs about money you felt he owed you?
It was past wages.
Okay.
Yes.
When did you first bring that up with him?
During the week of Art Basel. I want to say like maybe the 5th or 6th.
Of December?
Yes.
Okay. And so you felt that he owed you some money from wages that weren't paid? Is that what you're saying?
I wasn't paid for the time of the month. Like I hadn't been paid for the weeks that I put in at that time.
Okay. And who did you talk to Mr. Diggs directly, or did you talk to his finance people? Who did you talk to about this?
It was a chain of command. Like I would talk to his assistant, but his assistant was under investigation for stealing watches and money. So I don't know if
She put it all out there, boy. This lets you know she really have disdain for what the. See, let me tell y'all something. It's something that really had to happen for her to have this type of disdain to put that out there in court like that. You got to have some real heat behind you to put something like that out there in court.
I think
sustain that portion of the answer will be stricken from the record, and the jurors will disregard it. Will give it no consideration during the court deliberation. Please answer the question asked. Commonwealth, next question.
Thank you, Your Honor. At some point, did someone from Mr. Jiggs bring up the non-disclosure agreement?
yes, Mr. Diggs likes to abuse people and try to hide his abuse.
Ooh, boy, she's sending them shots right there. Trying to tell y'all. That stuff right there she's saying, some people might say, hey, man, they striking that. That stays in the jury's mind. And when you think about that, it's hard because when you got multiple allegations out here against you in the public and then somebody go on the stand and say that, that is very damaging. She said, hey, man, he got multiple things where he like to abuse people and cover it up. Man. See, this type of stuff right there that she said on the stand, that changed me from at first. I was thinking, yo, he gonna beat this. They're gonna find him not guilty because it's gotta be beyond a reasonable doubt. But the stuff that she's saying, it was certainly showing there's a passion behind her saying this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could, the jury's gonna probably feel like, hey, yeah, something physical happened. Because her to pop off like that, it couldn't have been jealousy because she was still working for him when he was, you know what I'm saying, rolling with Cardi B. Just saying.
Objection is sustained. That portion of the witness's answer will be stricken, and the jurors will disregard it during your deliberations. You are to give it no consideration and do not give reason. Next question.
At some point, were you given some information about a non-disclosure agreement by someone who worked for Mr. Jiggs?
Yes,
And when was this?
a couple days after the assault.
So, yeah. Definitely. You know. Definitely. You know. I'm talking about NDAs, things like that. Days after. And the question is if she can like prove it, if there's any kind of message or anything she can try to prove, that's gonna hurt him too. You know, I really thought like from his lawyer questions, I thought that his lawyer had did a good job. But then when I look back and I said, hold on, look at this. Man, this is gonna get ugly, man.
At some point, did you stop working for Mr. Jiggs?
At what?
At some point, did you stop working for Mr. Jiggs?
I didn't stop working for Mr. Diggs until my last day in the house. I would say it was the 16th. So yeah, some point.
So December 16th, okay. At some point, did you report any of this to the Dedham police?
Yes,
And when was that?
the Tuesday.
Do you know the actual day or just that it was a Tuesday?
I left on the 15th. I left his house on the 15th. I reported on that 16th.
Okay, so... And, did you call the police? Did you go there in person? How did that happen?
I went there in person.
And, what happened when you got there?
I was begging for my pay with Mr. Diggs, begging for days,
Objection, Your Honor.
and he refused to pay me.
Objection is sustained. That portion of the response will be stricken, and the jurors are not to consider in your deliberations. To answer the question asked, please phrase the question.
Wow, man. Boy,
At some point, you arrived to the Dedham police station?
Yes,
Did you speak to an officer?
yes, I did.
And did you tell the officer about what happened on December 2nd?
I was very hesitant at first because of his fame and power. So yes, but I
Objection,
did.
Your Honor. Move to strike. The objection is sustained. That comment by the witness will be
Yo, she
stricken
trying
from
to
the
bury
record.
this
The jurors
baby,
are to
bro.
disregard it and not consider it in your deliberation.
At some point, did you tell the officer about what happened on December 2nd?
Yes, I did.
And did at any point you provide to the Dedham police text messages?
Yes,
So, Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes.
So she provided text messages, huh? Wow.
Your Honor, may may I approach this witness?
Yes.
Approaching of what was previously marked as Exhibit 1. I'm placing something in front of you. If you can take a look at that, and when you're done looking at that, look back up at me.
Yes.
Do you recognize what that is?
Yes.
What is that?
It's a text message exchange between me and Mr. Diggs.
And is this the text message exchange that you provided to the Dedham police?
Yes. I deleted messages because making a report to the police in my previous abusive relationship, me.
Stay, Sam.
I'll tell you what.
Stop. That part of the answer is stricken from the record. The jurors will disregard.
So now I was wondering why she said like, "Yo, I studied this defense move." I was like, "Why you need to study a defense move?" But apparently, now she claimed that she had been in a prior abusive relationship. If you put A and B together, you know, this may be why she was watching that type of stuff. I don't know. But she damn sure is. yo, she tried to hit home to the jury. Hey, man, y'all can't let this Negro walk because of his fame and fortune. Man, that stuff she's saying sticks in their mind. You understand? Regardless if they say strike it, it sticks in their mind. Now, how this will go based off whatever evidence. Let's see.
Now, please answer the question that is put to you.
Okay.
And if you don't understand it, you can have it restated for you. Counsel at sidebar, please.
Stefon looking down. Yeah. Stefon looking everywhere else. He
Do
like,
you recognize
man.
what this is? You can look through it. There's more than one page.
Well, I recognize it, but the messages is cut off.
There's I believe 3 pages to this. 4 pages rather. Come on, through.
No.
Yes.
Do you recognize this? What this is?
Yes.
What is this?
This was in a text exchange
Between whom?
between me and Mr. Diggs.
And when was this text exchange from?
The morning into the noon, 12
Of December 2nd.
Yes.
Is there a difference between the text messages that you provided to the Dedham police and the text messages that are here?
Yes.
And what is that difference?
I deleted that and pussy, and I'm ruining that bitch life. Not mistaken. Yeah.
And why did you delete those phrases when you provided those text messages to the Dedham police?
Because when I was abused in my previous relationship, when I would say things,
The objection is sustained.
he would.
The objection is sustained. There's no question there. Again, the jurors will disregard it. Sidebar.
Damn. yo, she keeps talking about that abuse. She ready to break it. Ooh, you can tell she fuming, bro. And this is why I try to tell y'all, man. This situation right here is wild, man. Wow. Wild stuff, man. And she crying too. Oh. And the jury watching all of this now. The jury is seeing all of this. I mean, the jury is going wild. And I mean, they let a lot of time go by on this one, y'all. This one right here, man. Wow.
Why did you approach us?
Yes.
Wow.
Why did you delete text messages when you provided them to the Dedham police?
The fear of how I'll be perceived.
Your Honor, may I approach us?
Yes.
Approaching now with Amanda Potential is marked as exhibit.
You answer her question, she answered, then you say, nah, that ain't the question I want.
And when you're kind of looked at a little bit, you can look back at it.
So, yeah, man.
Well, let me say, from what you've seen, do you recognize what these seem to be?
Yes.
What are these?
Text messages about the...
Do you know who the text messages are between?
Yes, between me and Mr. Diggs.
And do you know when these text messages are from?
12-2. Yeah, 12-2.
So were those text messages that were going on between you and that morning of that day?
Yes.
And if I can ask you to maybe go to the third last page on this.
In this whole thing?
Of this section. May I approach it?
Yes.
There's a text that says pussy, right?
Yes,
Who sent that?
I did.
And how did Mr. Diggs respond?
Show me I'm pussy.
And how did you respond?
Will do.
And were those the last text messages sent before Mr. Diggs hit you?
Yes, I'm not mistaken.
Your Honor, may I approach this one?
Yes.
Bring your attention now to this marked Exhibit 4. Could you look through a few of these?
See, that's a mistake he made. When he told the woman, show me I'm P. Bro, you can't do that, bro. Bro, you cannot do that, man. You know what I'm saying? And then they're going to say, why is the woman calling him a P? Like, what made her call him that? But then once you say, yo, show me that shows aggression. I'm telling y'all this. This is how the jury going to look at this stuff. Watch what I tell you.
And do you recognize what these are?
Yes.
And what are these?
These are messages that I sent him asking to be paid.
And do you know when around these were from?
It was a couple of days after. They were in Art Basel. 12-5 it says. Yeah, and I was begging for my money for a while.
Just, I think, final question. When he was in the room, when he slapped you, when he put you in a headlock, was there anyone else in the room but you two?
Just us two.
And were there other people in the house?
Yes.
Do you know where they were in the house?
Downstairs, if I'm not mistaken.
And you said you went to New York and you met with a Shy. Is it Shy?
Yeah.
How did you know Shy Charles?
She works for him.
Okay, so
She braids his hair.
and so has she known you longer or him longer?
Him longer.
No further questions, John.
Ms. Adams, today is not the first day you've told the story of what you say happened on December 2nd, true?
True.
The first time you told the story was on December 16th, right?
Yes.
And that was
So, I'm just telling y'all, man, this going to be a tricky one right here, bro. I'm 50-50. At first, I was like 70-30 that he was probably going to get off. But when she, like, just the thing, her reactions, you got to see it. Bro, jury see that shit, man, they're going to feel like, yo, something happened to this woman. That's what they're going to feel like. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure y'all click those links below. Subscribe to the podcast show. You can donate support to the channel, Cash App, PayPal, or buy that weight loss formula. All the links are below. Peace.